what should UK brands be considering if they are looking at localizing into the US as part of this?
I think you've got to do your due diligence carefully, get some advice, get NDAs in place, talk to some of their existing customers, particularly if they've already got UK brands on their books. Even more interesting if they've got a similar SKU profile to yourselves. Go granular in terms of what sort of carrier options they've got and what the costs are going to look like and all of that kind of thing. I mean, the US is a very different market from a delivery perspective to the UK. The consumer doesn't expect things as quickly as we do here because it's a much larger geography. They're used to things taking 2-3 days to arrive, maybe longer if they know they're coming from overseas. I think it's also a zonal, primarily a zonal based pricing model. So, if you've got, let's say, a narrow SKU range and it's not too difficult to do, you probably want to drop stock both East and West Coast, maybe even mid-state as well. So, either looking at a 3PL or a 4PL provider who've got a multi-site approach to the US market is quite smart. If you're always going to be sending your stock from the UK to the US, if it's not going to come direct from China or somewhere like that, then you probably want to be looking at the East Coast rather than the West Coast, because obviously if containers are leaving the UK on boats, they're most likely going to be routed into the East Coast ports rather than the West Coast ports. So you don't necessarily want to have big distance traveled from port to warehouse. So there's no one size fits all. I think it's a case of doing your due diligence well. Pick up the phone to me if you want some help. Always more than happy to, walk through what good looks like for brands and do some supplier vetting and that kind of thing.